Welcome back to my channel. Today is December 20th. Alright, I don't have my advent calendar with me, but I did bring the box. So let me get it out of my massive project bag. Oh, here it is. December 20th. Wow, we're almost done. I was semi-organized at the beginning of this series, and now I'm just like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't have time to do anything. Like, maybe if I do this again next year, I'll have more of an idea of like what I should be doing with these boxes. Maybe like a whole sweater. Like, every box is a little bit of one project. But I really just wanted to make the most of the mini hanks, I guess. It's a learning experience for sure. Also, it's very cold, and it is the next day, even though I was wearing this hoodie yesterday too. Sometimes I just like find an item in my closet and I wear it, and then I remember how much I love it and I want to keep wearing it. All right, let's open it. Pink! We got a pink one! Pink and like tan, orange, yellow, little bit of purple. Should we add it to the Sophie shawl? I want to add, now I'm like excited to keep, okay, no. I've always been excited for my Sophie shawl, but since we found that blue one yesterday, which I think will be great on the end of the Sophie shawl, it's like now we're just filling in the middle. And I like the idea of keeping the middle pink. That seems easy, right? But I think we might need two of these. Let's see. I have the Sophie shawl here. I was ready to add to it. Okay. Alright, so the green was, this was one mini hank, this purple section was another, and then this section was another. And this got me to the center of the shawl, so I'll probably need 3 more. Shoot. So I can use this one, this one here, and then we'll need 1 more, and then we'll end with the blue one. So hopefully we get another one that will work with this madness. Yay, I'm excited to keep working on this, even though it has nothing to do with gift knitting, and I should really be working on my gift knits, because I don't, let me know if you do this too, but I get in my head and I'm like, oh yeah, I could totally knit like 4 pairs of socks in 2 days, and then the 2 days come around and I'm like, oh no, I cannot knit 4 pairs of socks in 2 days. That was why I decided to knit the DK weight socks, because like at least I know based on my last 52 weeks of socks video where I knit the chunky socks, like I know it takes me 6 hours to make one of those. So if I need to cram, I can make 2 socks, 1 pair of socks in half a day. So I could stay up for 24 hours and make 2 pairs of socks. I don't really want to do that, but it's an option. Well, I don't have my yarn winder and Swift, so I will be winding this into a ball with my hands. I'm gonna do that, and then the only yarn I have here with me for the Sophie shawl is the white. I don't have the pink here. But maybe I'll just keep going with the white, because it did look pretty, and then you could really see the Hedgehog Fibers yarn, and this one's very pink too, so I think if I held it with the pink, it would just be a lot of pink, which is what was happening earlier that I wasn't liking so much, like here where it was like very, very pink. Like I probably should have held it with white to begin with after the green, because those, yeah, I don't know. I like it either way, but I'm gonna carry this one with white for a little while because that's all I have. Oh, here's my sock. A little sock progress. I did make it to the rib cuff, and then I stopped and I was trying to focus on my advent thing. So yeah, I'm probably gonna knit for about 20 rows for the rib and then stop, and that'll be the sock, and then I'll have to make another one. And my A It doesn't look very different from last night. It's just like two little legs of an A. But it has a, it's you know, it'll be great soon. And it's bigger than I wanted it to be, but I think like what could be cool about knitting little letters is like making tiny yarn bombs, and I think this would be a good size for like a tiny yarn bomb. Yar. I'm going to wind this into a ball. Ooh, it has some like different levels of pink, like hot pink and then light pink, orange. Oh, lots of orange over here. So cool. I'm going to wind this into a ball using my knees and my hands, and I'll be right back. Ta-da! Pretty little ball. I had to change my hoodie because I spilled coffee on it. I didn't even notice until I looked and I had coffee on my white hoodie. So I had to immediately take it off and wash it. Ball. Okay, I'm gonna do a little bit and then I'll be back and check in and let you know what's going on.
Eventually.
I finished my sock that I was knitting. Yay! It's kind of funky. Yeah, let me know what you think. I think it's kind of like cute and funky, but it's definitely a funky color combination. The top I used this like multicolor yarn, this mini hank of DK weight yarn, and it ended up looking like this. And then the green is kind of like a space dye, and the toe is also doing a space dye thing. Let me know what you think of this sock in the comments. I like it, like I think it's kind of cute and quirky, but I also worry that like it might be ugly. Well, I still have to knit another one, but I'm not going to do that tonight. I might do the toe. I might knit the toe first tonight since I knit it with smaller needles, and then just like put it on hold for a day or so. And I'm going to knit some other sock tonight. But I was working on my Sophie shawl for about an hour, and I'm a slow knitter, like I've said so many times on my channel, but I did about 3 repeats of the pattern repeat, which is 6 rows, in an hour. Just to remind you, this is the ball. It's a lot of pink and orange and tan, kind of like a light khaki, and then there's the occasional like dark orange, dark purple bit. And I'm holding it with the white right now. I did have one row where I held it with an orange yarn. So it's about it's like, you know, this top section here is the new color. So it is coming out very orange. And what I want to do is I want to start holding it with the pink yarn that I was holding it with down here. So I think I'm gonna do white, like a couple rows of white, maybe a row of pink, a couple rows of white, pink, and try to blend it into the pink. Because I don't know, it's a little orange, but I could also do orange. Like, can you see there's one row that's orange? I think it's like here. What do you think? Should I go to pink or should I go to orange? I don't think I want to keep it white. I kind of want to go back to pink. I don't really know what to do. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I think I'm gonna have to get through this ball and then one more before we can move on to that blue ball that I found yesterday. So let me know your thoughts. Should I stick with white? Should I go to pink or should I go to orange? I was also working on my little letter that I started yesterday, and I got to the point in the pattern where I like understood what was going on, and so I stopped and I unraveled it, and I'm gonna do it over because these letters are written in garter stitch, and I realized that you just knit 2 of the same letter and then you stitch them together to make a little puffy bubble letter, and I'd rather do it in stockinette. So I'm going to redo it in stockinette, and I might take out a couple rows to make it even smaller. So I'm going to work on that tonight. just one letter. And then I do want to start my next chunky sock that I want to give my aunt for Christmas. And I showed this yarn before, but I have it here with me. So it's going to be the pink sock with this kind of multi-white, primarily white with like pink tones throughout. This is going to be the yarn combination, so I think I'm going to cast that on right now. And I think I'm going to do this as the cuff and then move on to this as the ankle and the foot. I might do this as the heel and the toe, but I'm not sure. I could also use some of my Hedgehog Fibers yarns that I got in the mail the other day. I had 2 other DK weight pinks, but I think I'm just gonna start with this as the cuff and then move on to this as the ankle area, and then I will decide when I get to the heel what I want to do for the heel. Maybe I'll just do a different toe. That could be easier. I need to think about it. I did also want to do little hearts. I thought it would be really cute to do little hearts with this yarn on this yarn, like near the foot or near the toe. Not near the foot, like near the toe on the foot. But I'm not sure yet. I think I'll have to wait and like knit a little bit and figure out a little stitch pattern for that heart. But I thought that would be really cute, and my aunt really likes hearts. I'm gonna work on that now, and I think my goal for tonight is to like get through a chunk of this sock and maybe cast on the toe for my brother's sock and maybe work on that A. I am officially like done with work for the year, and it's only 6 p.m. right now, so I think I'm gonna work until at least midnight. And then I think I'll probably wake up at like 5 o'clock in the morning and start working. Because I don't have anything else to do. I can literally just knit all the time now and get these videos up for you on time. All right, well, I will be back in a little while, hopefully with some of this knit into a bit of a sock.
Tomorrow.
Good morning and happy, I never know what the date is. Happy December 21st. I wasn't going to do 2 days in one video again, but I just got to my studio and I was gonna like show you what I finished working on, or I didn't finish anything, but I was gonna show you what I was working on last night and then like end the video, edit it, and start the next one. And so I thought maybe I should just start the next one and make a more interesting video than 2 less interesting videos. I want to show you what I was working on last night. So I showed you the sock that I finished, and then I started the next sock, which is for my aunt, using the pink yarn, which I got decently far on. I did this last night, so it doesn't look like much, but almost to the heel, which is exciting. I think I wanted to do like 10 more rows and then start the heel, and I'm gonna do the heel in this yarn, then do the foot, and I think I will try to do the little hearts. I think I'm gonna do them around the foot, the entire foot, like the sole and the instep before you get to the toe. And then I was also thinking in my head last night while I was knitting this, okay, I'm like, I need to calm down. Last night while I was knitting this, I was also thinking about how boring it looks right now because it's just knit stitches, and I would have rather done a stitch, but I also am like crunched for time at this point, and knit stitch is much faster. I was trying to think of like ways to make it more interesting, and I think by the time it's finished and it has like the contrast heel and the contrast toe and maybe those little hearts that I'm hoping I can do, it'll look much more interesting. But I think I was just like getting in my head about it, like, why are you knitting a boring sock? And so then I was thinking about these DK weight yarns that I got the other day, and I was thinking like, should I add one of these, or like is it totally like, I don't know, maybe I shouldn't. Now that I'm here, they are very different. Yeah, okay, I'm just gonna stick with my original 2 yarns, which were these. I think we'll just see how it goes. Like, either way, it's going to be a chunky, cozy sock with cool contrast cuff heel toe. So maybe I'm just like making things more difficult for myself by thinking it's a boring sock. All right, so I'm gonna work on that today. I'm gonna open my advent calendar, see what's inside. And, oh, I'm also going to work, oh, sorry. I'm adding yarn to my bag of scraps. I also want to work on a Sophie shawl for my mom. So I think I'm going to find some yarn in my studio that I think she would like the colors or the feeling or the texture of. I'm gonna make her the smallest Sophie shawl size with bigger needles. Because my 8s are currently on my Sophie shawl. And I don't really want to take them out and start using them for something else because I might never put them back on. That's a risk. When I remove needles from a project, they may never return to that project. Okay, and then the last thing I wanted some advice in the comments below. Help me out. I have one friend that I want to make a gift for, and I can't decide if I want to make them chunky socks or a beanie. So this would be the yarn for the beanie. It's 2 lace weight yarns and a fingering weight yarn, and I would hold them all together and make either the Manhattan beanie by Tori Knits or this other beanie that I found by Pearl Soho. Or I would make them a chunky sock, just like the one I made for my brother the other day, which is right here. I literally showed this earlier, or I would make them a chunky sock like this. And I don't know, I can't decide like what I should do. I think like they saw this sock and they were like, oh my god, that's so cool, I love the colors. And so then I was like, oh wow, should I make them funky socks? So let me know in the comments what you would make your friend, a funky sock or a hat, like for your friend who wears hats a lot. Let me know in the comments because I'm having trouble. Like now I'm like, oh, maybe I should make them something else. Let's see what's in the yarn advent calendar for today. I don't know that I'm gonna do anything with it because I'm a little crunched for time, but I do want to make some more of these little things. I have like so many things that I want to make, and I'm like, I have like a few days to do this, but I did want to make some more like cute little things, maybe little hearts to put on friends. Here is the box for the 21st. The light is always so aggressive. Let's see what's inside. Ooh. This one's cool. Orange, green, blue, yellow, pretty. Oh, I could add it to my Parallelogram blanket. And I saw a comment, someone suggested doing orange on the dark side. I think that's what that comment said. It would be orange here. So should we do that? And I could hold it with yellow. I have a yellow sock yarn that I got from Scrap that I could hold it with. It'd be nice. I need to think about things. I've taken on too much, and so when I do that and I take on too much, let me know if this happens to you, because I've heard this happens to other, I've only talked to like artists and other creative people about this issue. I guess it's not really an issue. Well, it kind of is an issue, but I guess it depends on the, where you're experiencing this. But I have told people in the past that sometimes when I have too much going on, whether it's work or play, and I would consider knitting play, that I have like so many options and I don't know where to start, and so then I just don't do anything. Does that happen to you? Let me know in the comments. This is like teetering on like a mental health issues. I mean, kind of. I think it could fall under the like overwhelming feelings and anxiety, but when I'm experiencing it, when I'm with knitting and like fun things, it doesn't feel as extreme because it's like, it's my own fault. I've started too many projects and now I don't know what to do and I don't know what I want to do more. And what I really want to do is probably just cast on another project. Why is casting on so much more fun than like working on the projects you've already started and finishing the object? When I first started, finishing the object was definitely the most important part. And now it's like, I don't even know what the most important part is. I guess the most important part to me now is like learning new things, because that's where I find the most joy. But then if I never complete anything, it's like I know how to do a lot of things, but I don't have anything to show for it. I just had a thought that could help with what I was asking earlier about making my friend something. So should I make them the red hat, or should I make them the chunky socks? And if I made them the chunky socks, the sock yarn options that I have on hand would be those Hedgehog Fibers yarns that I got the other day, or I could go to the Black Squirrel in Berkeley and get something new. It would be either this purpley I don't know why I always like feel the need to describe the colors to you when it's obvious what they look like. Maybe it's from being like in design school, like describe what you see. Okay, so it's like purpley magenta with tones of yellow and green, and there's some lighter hues. And this is for a guy, but I don't think he would be opposed to stereotypically feminine colors. And then I also have this one, which is more neutral. I was thinking maybe I would make my mother a pair of socks with this yarn. I don't know why I just had like a brain mouth issue for a second. Charcoal. It doesn't get to true black. It's like dark gray, light gray, green, and then these really pretty light pink tones. So these would be my sock yarn options. I actually am gonna go to the Black Squirrel today because I have a Secret Santa through Knit Club and I wanted to buy them some cute little stitch markers. Let me know what you're gift knitting in the comments, and if your gifts are already done, whether it's for Christmas, Hanukkah, whatever, if you're just making things for fun. Let me know what you're working on right now. I am really looking forward to December 26th when all this stuff is done. Hopefully it's done. I really don't want to resort to giving people like IOUs. I hate doing that stuff, especially because I forget that I don't have to make people things. But I just get so caught up in the things that I love and the things that I love doing and my personal values that I am like, oh yeah, I have to make everyone something, because I don't want to buy everyone something if I could just make it. And then I also struggle with like, what if I make 4 out of 5 people something and then I give the 5th person something store-bought, and I don't want them to think it's like, this is just like making up things in my head, you know? Like, no, like that person might not even notice that they didn't get a handmade gift, but I would hate for someone to think that there was a reason that they didn't get one, besides like I didn't think they would like it, or I thought they might throw it in the washing machine. But let me know what projects you're working on right now, because I am really looking forward to starting some fun projects that have nothing to do with gift knitting or advent calendars. I found this really cute sweater pattern on Ravelry, and I'll put a picture of it. I forget what it was called, but it just looked like a really simple cardigan. I don't know if it was like the construction that sold me or the yarn, but it just looked like, or maybe it was the fit. I can't even remember. I saw it. I see it every time I open up my Ravelry page because it's on my favorites section right now. But it just looked like a really cute, easy cardigan that I think I would wear a lot. And then the other thing I'm really excited to make, and I almost cast this on this week, like I had to stop myself because part of me was like, if I get a cool yarn in the advent calendar, I'm going to cast this on with like other yarns that I already have. And it's the bunny, I think it's just the bunny hat. I don't know if it has a name, but it's by Bunny Clava on Instagram. who I believe either owns or runs or works at Downtown Yarns in New York City, in Manhattan. And it is the cutest bunny hat. I really like it. I love the pictures that they posted on Instagram with the guys skateboarding, and they're wearing like fuzzy ones. The hats are so fuzzy, and I saw those and I was like, I want to make that. I don't want to make anything else. I want to make that hat. It's so cute. And then of course I was like, I should make one for me and my friend and my friend's boyfriend, because I know that they would like them too. But there's not enough time to do that. So I'm looking forward to making at least one of those next week. It's so cute. Another fun thing, okay, this video is turning into a knit and chat video. Another fun thing is I found some sweaters in a giveaway pile, and they have like huge cuts and holes in them, so they're basically unwearable. I took 3 of them, 3 unwearable sweaters. So I'm hoping that I can either unravel them for the yarn, or I can kind of like Frankenstein them. One of them is this beautiful purple Isabel Marant cardigan, and the sleeves are fine and the front body is fine, but the back body has a huge rip. Like, part of it's just messed up in the back. I was thinking like maybe I could shorten the front and add it back to the back, or maybe I could like shorten the front, add some other yarn to the back, and then take the leftover yarn from the front that's the same color and like make a new rib around the bottom, and basically just take this long oversized cardigan that has a huge hole in the back and make like a short cardigan that doesn't have a hole in the back, that maybe has some funky other yarn in the back. Okay, and then the last thing I can chat with you about since I'm like totally sidetracked right now and these videos are completely different than they were when I started. Gifts for knitters, and like the gifts that I've been asking for. If you've been on my channel for a while, you know that I don't like to buy things that I don't think I absolutely need. Like a few months ago it was sock blockers, and then someone sent me a pair of sock blockers, which was so nice, and I use them all the time. And I also like blocky mats. I don't feel like I need to buy a blocky mat when I can use a towel, or the rug that I tufted. That was like my first rug tufting experiment. Every year around the holidays, people will ask me what I want for Christmas, you know, adults. Not that I'm not an adult, because I definitely am an adult, but the people in my life, aunts, uncles, grandma, mom, will ask me what I want for Christmas. I used to really enjoy things, opening things. I used to really enjoy the stockings because my mom would fill them up with like candy from the UK that I really liked, and just like little fun things. But besides the candy, like all the little toys and trinkets that were fun to open, like I didn't do anything with them, and they just ended up in a bag, like in like a, this is my bag of Christmas presents, I'm gonna take it home, or I'm gonna take it wherever I live at the time. And it would just stay in the bag like all year long. So I noticed that that would happen sometimes, and I really didn't like that. I didn't want like a bag of stuff that's just gonna sit there that I have no use for, that I feel bad donating because they're like gifts. So I was starting to feel a little torn about the holidays, because it's like when you're a kid you want things and you want to open gifts and you want it to be magical and whatever, but I just got to a point where I was like, I don't want anything that I don't need or have a use for. I will give you gifts because I like to make things for people, and I like to give people things that I think that they like, whether that's like one gift or 2 gifts, you know? Usually I'll just say like, I don't know, don't get me anything, or I'll say like, I want a gift card to this place. But this year my mom is very supportive of my crafts, my knitting crafts. So she asked me what I wanted, and she said that I could send her a list, which is fun, sending a Christmas list. I like really thought about the things that I wanted, or the things that I thought would be very helpful for me with knitting specifically, because I really don't feel like I need anything else. So I asked her for some of the tools that I had been avoiding buying. I asked her for this like sweater shaver comb thing that I found from A Verb for Keeping Warm. It's by Coco Knits, so they do sell at other places, but I saw that and I was like, that would be a handy tool, because not only do my sweaters get like pilly and need to be shaved, but like some of the other clothes that I have get like that too. I asked for some yarn that I've been like putting off buying. I sent like specific links to the kind of yarn, and I gave her a few different color options and like how many I would need. I think when you do stuff like that, you really have to know that the person you're sending specific requests to is going to like understand what you're saying, you know? Because I think it can be confusing if you don't know anything about yarn or yardage or colorways, or, you know? So I did that, and I don't think I would do that with anyone else. Like, I trust that I trust our communication is like at that level where I can do that. I also asked for stitch holders. I found these really pretty ones. I mean, I don't know, they're like really sleek design from Ritual Dyes, and I forget who actually makes them. I don't think it was Ritual Dyes. I'll put a link to all this stuff in the description below. So I asked for these stitch holders because I do use safety pins a lot, and safety pins work just fine for things like socks that are small, but for bigger things it would be nice to have like a giant safety pin. The downside of using safety pins is that they are sharp, so sometimes they stab through your stitches. I asked for a couple King Fiber sock yarns, which felt easy. Like, now that I'm into sock knitting, that is probably like the easiest yarn you can ask for, because it's like you just need one, like, and you can just, I don't know. But then again, I had a friend who was in Europe, and they asked if I wanted anything from Europe, and I was like, oh, I want sock yarn from Europe. And they were like, is that a kind of yarn? Like, can I just go into the store and be like, sock yarn? And I was like, yeah, you can. I think that was kind of it. I asked for a couple different specific sock yarns from King Fiber. I asked for the La Bien-Aimée boucle yarn, enough to make like a vest or something. That comb, stitch holders. I was gonna ask for the Susan Bates. This thing is so cheap. It's like $1, but online it might be more in a yarn store, but like between $1 and $5. It's the Susan Bates. It's like a gauge, so it has a ruler in centimeters and in inches up to maybe 4 inches, and then it has the little holes for all the different needle sizes. It's just like a tool. I don't know what it's called. Knitting tool. It's so cheap in cost, but it's like, it would definitely be like a handy thing to have, because a lot of the sizes of my needles have rubbed off and I can't read them anymore, so I just kind of guess, or I like compare them to other needles. I think that's it. I just went on to a couple different yarn shops websites that I liked, and that was A Verb for Keeping Warm, Ritual Dyes. Oh, and then I asked for the La Bien-Aimée. Whenever I say that, I like clump it together into one word. I asked for the La Bien-Aimée yarn from Brooklyn General Store in New York, because they had a big selection. That's my hot take on gifting and what I asked for. Yeah, I don't know. The holidays are so strange sometimes. I just did quite a bit of knitting while I was rambling about nonsense. Okay, let's see if I got to the place where I can put my heel. Not quite. I wanted to go 8 inches from the top, and I need about a ½ an inch more, so I think I'll do 3 more rows and then I'll start my heel. And I have about an hour and a half before I have to leave for other things. So I'm gonna try to make a mental plan for the day and do this heel, and I'll show it to you in a sec. It's been about an hour and a half. I did my heel, and now I just have to do my, so I did my heel and my heel turn, and I'm doing my gusset decreases, and then I'll continue the foot. So I did that, and then I found this tweed yarn that I had. It's brown and gray tweed with like flecks of red, yellow, and blue. And I'm gonna use this to make a Sophie shawl for my mom. So I just started and I did a couple. I did like 3 repeats. That's all I've done. And I have to go I'm gonna go get a facial, so hopefully when I return my face will look nice and glowy. And I'm gonna do some holiday shopping too. I'm gonna take my projects with me, so hopefully I'll have some progress made. I think I'll take probably the Sophie shawl. I might also take the toe from my brother's sock and work on that. And then I might take this, although I think if my aunt saw it, it would be really obvious that it was for her because this is like her favorite color. All right, it's been like 8 hours. And my skin looks better, but it also kind of looks like I got beat up. I did have a lot of extractions done, which was painful, but my face feels so much cleaner now. While I was out, I was knitting like obsessively in the car because I feel like I'm running out of time. So I knit this much of my sock. So I'm pretty close to the area where I'm gonna do the toe. And I decided, I think I'm gonna do some duplicate stitch hearts on like the ankle, just to make it a little bit more interesting. I think I am gonna do some hearts before the toe too, but I still need to figure out a little knitting chart for that. And then my toe, and then that one's done. So then I have 2 single socks. I also worked on the Sophie shawl for my mom a little bit. Made a tiny bit of progress. I am making this one smaller than the one I'm making for myself, so it only goes to like 50-ish stitches. And I'm already at 20, so it's moving much faster. While I was out, I went to the Black Squirrel and I got some gifts for my Secret Santa. Just some little things, because I think you're supposed to buy something like small and useful, or like give them, you know, something little. So I got these super cute flower stitch markers. They're by All Stitch Studio, seamless metal rings, 32, and they look like little flowers. They're so cute. And then I got these stickers for them. This one says just one more row with 2 hands knitting. And then this is a set of knitting needles and a crochet hook holding hands. So cute. I also was looking for some more chunky DK weight yarn, sock yarn, that I could maybe use for the socks for my friend. Isn't this so pretty? They had a little bit of this like knit up into a shawl in the front of the store, and I thought it was so pretty. And it kind of reminds me of tie-dye, which my friend wears often. This is by Casey Knits, and it is a local dyer. And this is superwash merino and nylon, and the colorway is just number 8. So pretty. I'm gonna wind this into a cake right now because I'm excited. And that's it for this video. I don't know what I'm gonna do with this mini hank. I totally forgot like what this video is even about. This is the mini hank. Maybe I'll try to use it with this. I do want to find some funky colors to do for the toe and the cuff of this. Is that too funky? I think that might be too funky. So I'm gonna figure this out later, not tonight. But yeah, maybe I'll just hold this with orange and knit it into my blanket. I'll let you know when I decide eventually what I'm doing with that. I'll see you tomorrow.